to the point with us to where it's almost natural, to where we tend to, it seems like we take it for granted, the stuff we experienced and been through, to where the quote unquote or so-called average person here be like, what the hell, like what? Yeah. And we, to us, is nothing, so to speak. But with that being said, I want to tell y'all a story. Well, I want to speak about and give my condolences to the story of two Jose's who unfortunately lost their life back to back in Oakland on two different incidents back in Oakland. Rest in peace, my guy Jose Roberto, and rest in peace, my young homie Jose Ochoa, who unfortunately one of them was unalive in the city while the other one was already in the hospital fighting for their life, and they unfortunately succumbed to their wounds. And I happen to know both these guys, and my condolences go out to them and their family, for real, in a real way. So let me break it down. Let me explain how I know both of them. So I know Jose Roberto from back in the day. That's my guy Snoop, R.I.P. Now, his name, of course, is Jose Roberto, but he was black and Panamanian. So he was basically black. I ain't even gonna say the N-word, but he was black. Looked just like me, same complexion and everything. He was a lot taller. He looked just like me in a lot of ways. And he was cool. I met him when I went to Bret Hart. Now, I made a video back in the day. Well, not back in the day. I made a video a while back about me living in the Allendale hood in the Tongan Crips. Watch that video. Now, Jose, he was from School Street. Now, Allendale was like 35th and 38th. So I was on the 38th end. And School Street will be considered 32nd. Trey Deuce 100, School Street. Remember, every Oakland hood got 100 on it. So now, anyway, we all went to Bret Hart. That's a Bret Hart school district, pretty much. So we all went to Bret Hart, and I met him there, and we started hanging out, chilling or whatever. And we youngsters, so eventually we cutting school. We ain't even going to school. We cutting school. We on a 57, raising hell, on the bus all the way to Berkeley. Hop on the 40, raising hell, all the way back. And we did that for a while, man. We started doing other things. We was cool, typical, young guy stuff, getting at females and stuff. And then for a minute, we stopped chilling. Once high school came, of course, then I was going through what I was going through or whatever. Then I seen him again a while back, years later. I was still over there on the 8, hollered at him for a minute. And then I ain't seen him. And then, life went on. And then, unfortunately, I heard this happen. Now, at this time, I was in jail already, y'all. It was so long ago. And I think I got out later that year, if I'm not mistaken. This was I'm not sure, but this was around that time. And then, you know what? I was in the pen, y'all. I was. Because this actually correlates with another RIP story, unfortunately. Perhaps I may speak on that. But anyway, y'all, again, RIP my guy Snoop, because for a minute, y'all, we was rolling with each other. That was my road dog. I really knew him personally like that. So then it was quite unfortunately to hear the young guy Jose Ochoa losing his life. Now, the reason why I know Jose is, around this time, I was in and out the pen. So my parole address, my main parole address at this time was on Rudsdale. 7-8 Rudsdale. I got family over there. So my family been over there for a long time, basically all my life. To where my granddaddy, this funny, y'all, the school Highland over there, which is in the alphabet. If you've been to that elementary school, you know my granddaddy. Put it like that, because he worked there for years. That's where I met people in jail who, I'm like, everybody I meet, and they from that area, and I'm like, oh, you went there? I'm like, Mr. And they know. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even got to say the name. I bet y'all know who I'm talking about. Put it in the comments if you from that area. But anyway, I was paroled over there. So now while I was paroled over there, now I was paroled over there on a few stints. So anyway, while I was paroled over there, Jose's family happened to live like maybe 2-3 houses down from our family, from my family. And being that my family been there for years, they was one of the cornerstone families, especially black families in that area. They're from Rusdale, and so they knew everybody. And he knew little Jose, and they had another cousin named Nacho, little chubby Nacho. I knew both of them. Now of course this was a different age. They was a lot younger, but I knew them. I met them, being that they knew my family already, and they pops and whatever they family knew my pops, my family. So I knew that being paroled over there. And it's crazy because Nacho, he was the most turned up one. They had a little clique on one boys or whatever. I remember all that. They would be considered border brothers. Not in basically because that's what Nacho, he was a border brother. Now Jose, he was from what I know, wasn't too much. He was a cool guy, man. And Nacho was the own one boys. You know what I'm saying? Now they was border brothers. Now border brothers, if you don't know, border brothers, because you hear about in California, you got North Daniel, Serrano, but we also got in Oakland, the Bay Area, BBs, which is considered border brothers. Now border brothers would be now descendants of Mexicans who migrated from Mexico, basically Paisas. So Paisas who been here for a generation or two, they had children, so their children actually grew up in America. So essentially their children are American, Chicano, Americanized, but their children are not with the local Chicano homegrown gangs, which is in California is, already know, North Daniel is Serrano. So they eventually, especially growing up in Oakland, which is all hood, they start eventually clicking up and starting their own hoods, basically, for the most part. Now, of course, there's a lot more history context to it, but for the most part in general. Whereas the North Daniels and the Serranos are known to be identified with colors, red and blue and all that. They don't do that. They known to just keep it thug style with the hoodies, the black hoodies and the beanies, basically. And they tend to be in East Oakland, in the Depot, whatever. So basically they would be considered that. You know what I mean? Now, again, Jose, he didn't too much deal with the BS, the politics. He was trying to, stay out the way, work, do, Again, these was youngsters, And kind of find out, unfortunately, they was riding and I guess somebody hit up the car and unfortunately he was hit. My condolences, man, to his family. Shout out. Now, I know y'all probably, this was a while back. I know y'all know my family. But me, y'all probably don't remember me. I had a whole different hairstyle, a whole different look. But again, RIP, that ain't the point. And my guy, Jose Roberto, he unfortunately, from what I hear, he was hit over there on School Street. What I hear, some people just came out there shooting. He was coming out the stove. So RIP, you know what I'm saying? Jose, that was my guy. So yeah, it's really real out here, man. You gotta count your blessings, man. That's just one of the things, man. Just want to reiterate, man, a close relationship, man. We got to being out here with them soldiers in the field, man. It's damn near, I damn near want to say no difference, although it is, but at the same time, when it comes to the trauma and experience, it's very closely related, if not the same. One day they here, one day they not, and like damn near regularly. It's real troubling. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, count your blessings, man. It's Bad News Brown breaking it down. I'll be back. Peace.